It's the car crash that's gripped the nation and devastated 3 families. Nearly 3 weeks ago, Diane Schuler drove the wrong way down a New York State highway, killing herself, her daughter and 3 nieces, and 3 other men in the SUV she hit head-on. But what makes the circumstances surrounding the crash so bizarre is that the autopsy revealed Schuler had marijuana and the equivalent of 10 drinks in her system, a finding her husband Daniel won't accept.
Listen to this. I go to bed every night knowing my heart is clear. She did not drink. She's not an alcoholic.
Now the public and the families affected by the crash want to know if Schuler was hiding an addiction, whether anyone knew about it who could have stopped her.
How could other people not know? These are all questions that, my family want to know. We want to know the truth.
But Schuler is described by friends and family as a typical suburban mom, a devoted parent with no drinking problem. It's raised the question, did she have more in common with big stars like Michael Jackson than anyone could have imagined? Jackson was poised to make a big comeback with 50 sold-out performances. Doctors even gave him a clean bill of health. But what the world and even some members of his own family didn't know about was his alleged addiction to drugs so strong they required medical supervision, usually only used during surgery by anesthesiologists.
Michael would make his mother, Catherine, wait outside his gate 3-4 hours, no matter what time of day or night it was, if he was high on drugs, so he could clean up. He didn't want her or his family to see that.
And give yourself 2 super extended arms.
In June, popular TV pitchman Billy Mays died of heart failure. The autopsy revealed cocaine as a contributory cause of death, something his family also won't accept.
First of all, I'd like to just say, I'd like to see that report. That's not my brother, Other than that, no comment. It's not Billy.
You got soccer moms that are having a little drink and picking up their kids, everybody.
Marilyn White, a recovered addict who now runs a rehab center in New York, says everyone knows someone hiding an addiction.
Whether it's your husband, his family, your family, doesn't make your uncle, your grandmother, your grandfather, somebody you work with. Really, there's always someone that has addiction.
White lived a double life for 15 years because of the shame of her alcoholism.
You put the alcohol in the Listerine bottle, or you drink Listerine if you can't find any alcohol. I go to bars where I didn't know people and drink on my own, drink in the car, drink in the bathroom where you work. You'll drink perfume. I drank perfume.
Is it possible to keep an addiction secret, or do you feel like someone always knows?
I think that someone always knows.
Someone always knows, she says, but may not be able to recognize the signs.
Look for change in behavior, change in the way they look, ruddy complexion, avoiding, isolation, fears, irrational fears.
But when the addict is a mother, catching those signs can be difficult because often the person closest to the problem is a child.
Was she trying to hide her addiction from you?
I think so. I think, like at 7, 8, 9 years old, you don't really know they're an alcoholic, but you know that something's wrong. It was just really a very scary time. I think that not knowing if she'd come home, what time she'd come home, who she'd come home with, if she'd come home. I mean, I was just not a real happy kid.
For White, the hold alcohol had on her was so strong, she lied about being pregnant to go on a weekend drinking binge.
I had somebody watch Shelley for the weekend, and I told these 2 people that I was pregnant and I was going into the city for an abortion. Never had an abortion in my life. I went into the city and drank all weekend and then came back. That's how sick it is. You get so sick, you don't know how sick you are.
White says she finally admitted her addiction after hitting the railing of a highway with Shelley in the car. And so the accident involving Diane Schuler has brought back painful memories.
I had a physical reaction to it, and it really brought back a lot of memories of myself when I was drinking and driving, and with my little girl in the car, that by the grace of God, I could have been the person who killed everybody and killed my daughter.
Since you've been there in a sense, what would be going through a child's mind moments before a crash like that, seeing the mother out of control?
Just you're out of control. Like you can't drive a car, just like helplessness. I just thought about the kid that survived, the little boy that survived, I thought, man, what he's, has to deal with now and his memories.
Is everybody clean and sober since we met last?
Yep.
Good.
Now, 35 years after beating her addiction, Marilyn White still lives with the guilt, but has finally found peace in knowing she's helping others.
Well, the first half of my life I was drinking, and the second half I've dedicated to helping people get sober. And it's become very successful, and that's helped me. That's helped me to heal.
A little bit of redemption there?
Yes, a little bit of redemption.
Diane Schuler's family did admit to People magazine this week that she occasionally smoked marijuana to help fall asleep, but they continued to deny that she had a drinking problem, in fact claiming she barely ever touched alcohol. Daniel Schuler is so convinced that his wife wasn't drinking, he's hired a private investigator to prove it.
How do you want everyone to remember your wife?
She was a perfect wife, an outstanding mother, hard worker, reliable person, trustworthy. I would marry again tomorrow, but she's awesome. She's the best.
I'm Andrea Canning for Nightline in Montclair, New Jersey.